blood sugar spikes draining your energy? This 7-day framework fixes that. Oh, smart move, Fleep.
All right, let's talk about something I think we've all felt. That dreaded energy crash. You know the one. The post-meal fog rolls in, you get this sudden, overwhelming urge for a nap right when you need to be on your game. Well, if that sounds familiar, you're in exactly the right place.
I mean, does this sound familiar? You eat a good meal, you feel great, maybe for an hour or so, and then, bam, it just hits you. The energy's gone, the brain fog is real, and suddenly all you can think about is finding your next snack. It's this vicious cycle, right? And it can totally derail your whole afternoon. Okay, and here is the most important thing I want you to hear today. That feeling, it is not a character flaw. It has nothing to do with your willpower or discipline. It's just science. It's a physiological response happening inside your body, and we have a name for it, a blood sugar spike. And you know what the best part is? It's something you can absolutely control. So what is actually going on inside your body? Think of it like a roller coaster. To get off this ride for good, we got to understand the mechanics behind it. So let's break down the simple science behind that crash. So it all comes down to this thing called blood sugar, or glucose. Just think of it as the premium fuel for your body's engine. Whenever you eat carbs, stuff like bread, fruit, pasta, your body breaks them down into this simple sugar. It then goes into your bloodstream to power pretty much everything you do. It's not the enemy, it's absolutely essential for energy.
Okay, so here's how the system is supposed to work in a perfect world. You eat some carbs, your glucose levels go up a bit, and your pancreas sends out this hormone called insulin. Insulin is kind of like a super efficient traffic cop. It sees all that glucose fuel and directs it exactly where it needs to go, into your muscle cells, your liver, either to be used for energy right away or saved for later. It's a really elegant, totally normal process.
But here's where the trouble starts. When a ton of glucose floods your system all at once, that's your sharp spike, your body kind of panics. It overreacts and releases this tidal wave of insulin. Now, this insulin is so good at its job that it clears the sugar too well, causing your blood sugar to plummet, sometimes even lower than before you ate. And that is the crash. What we're aiming for is a gentle wave, not a spike and crash. And you get that by adding fiber, protein, and fat to slow the whole process down for nice, stable energy. So if we want to avoid that spike, we have to know what's causing it in the first place, right? Well, it turns out there are 3 really common culprits in our day-to-day lives that are basically putting us on this roller coaster. Let's name them and shame them.
And here's the great news. This isn't some crazy long list of 100 things you have to avoid. Nope. The problem really just boils down to 3 main patterns. And once you learn how to spot them, you're already halfway to taking back control of your energy.
All right, culprit number 1. And this is probably the biggest one for most of us. Eating naked carbs. It's a funny term, but it just means eating carbs all by their lonesome, without any clothes like protein, fiber, or fat to slow them down. When they're naked, they just sprint right into your bloodstream, fast and hard. And yeah, this quote just hits the nail on the head. Think about it. A slice of white toast by itself for breakfast, a banana on your way out the door, a bowl of cereal. These foods aren't bad, not at all. But when you eat them all alone, you're basically creating the perfect conditions for that big spike and, you guessed it, the crash that comes right after. Okay, on to culprit number 2, liquid sugar. And man, this one is sneaky because it catches so many of us off guard. We're talking fruit juices, a lot of smoothies, sodas, energy drinks. Things that are often marketed as being healthy. The problem is, when sugar is in liquid form, your body doesn't even have to work to digest it. And that's exactly why it's such a big deal. Your body basically absorbs that liquid glucose almost instantly. It's like a fire hose of sugar straight into your bloodstream, which of course triggers a massive insulin response. So even that healthy green smoothie that's packed with fruit can send your blood sugar on that wild ride if it's not balanced out with enough protein, fiber, and fat. And our final culprit is something pretty much all of us are guilty of, the post-meal freeze. Just sitting still right after you eat. See, your muscles are one of your best friends when it comes to managing blood sugar. They're like these huge glucose sponges just waiting to soak up all that sugar from your blood. But they only work if you use them. If you go straight from the dinner table to the couch, that glucose just stays circulating with nowhere to go. Okay, so we've laid out the problem, we've identified the culprits, now for the good stuff, the part where you take back control. And this is not about restriction or miserable diets. It's about a simple, powerful framework you can use to, well, flatten that curve for good.
Here it is. This is the whole game plan, and it's built on 3 simple principles. First up is structure. Basically, never let your carbs go out naked. Always dress them with some protein, fiber, and fat. Second is sequencing. This is a cool one. If you can, eat your veggies and protein before you eat your carbs. It's like you're creating this little buffer in your stomach that slows down how fast the sugar hits your system. And finally, number 3 is movement. Remember those glucose sponges? Well, go for a short walk after you eat to activate them and let them do their job.
And if you're thinking, does a little walk really make a difference? Oh yeah, check this out. Just a 10 to 15-minute walk after a meal can slash the glucose spike from that meal by up to 30%. I mean, think about that. That is a huge impact for such a small, totally doable habit. It's incredible. All right, so the theory is all well and good, but the real question is, how do you actually start doing this stuff, right? So let's get super practical. We're going to walk through a simple 7-day reset plan to help you actually feel the difference for yourself. Okay, here are just 4 simple things to focus on for 1 week. That's it. Number 1, context is key. For every meal, just make sure you've got that protein, fiber, and fat combo. Number 2, walk it out. Try adding 1 10-minute walk after your biggest meal of the day. Number 3, swap a drink. Just replace 1 sugary drink a day with water or maybe some herbal tea. And number 4, anchor your sleep. Just trying to go to bed around the same time, it makes a huge difference in how your body handles sugar the next day.
And please remember this, the goal here is not perfection. You don't have to do this 100% of the time to see results. It's just about building a little consistency and, honestly, just noticing how much better you feel. Pay attention to your energy levels, your focus, your cravings. That feeling of stable, consistent energy, that's the real win.
And that brings us to the most empowering part of all of this. You don't have to wait for a Monday or the first of the month or for some perfect time to start. Your very next meal, that's your next chance. That's an opportunity to put this into practice and flatten the curve.